Okay, just going to do a small video now on how I filter my water and what my basic setup. I'm not going to go over the heater today or my UV or any of that. I'm just going to show you, I might do, just going to show you what I use to filter the bacteria and the poo out of my ponds. A bit of a mess in here at the minute. Right, let's get to it. So this is my Nexus 300, which is a right pain in the arse. It was a pain in the arse. Right, so what I've got going here is the Nexus 300, which I've upgraded the center to an easy, and in there is 80% micro K1 and K1. Comes around. I never ever come in here. I never clean this. I don't do anything with it. It's sat here for about 2 months now and I haven't cleaned it. I haven't done anything with it. And I bought a used automatic for 150 quid from Luton. The guy said it worked perfectly when I got it, but it was actually broken, which pissed me off as I drove all the way to Luton to get it. So I downloaded a manual, the Evolution Aqua manual, which for the level of what I was doing was useless. Well, luckily a friend of mine did some research for me, and I bought some switches and sorted them out myself. It was a real pain in the ass because I actually had to replace 3 of them in the automatic system. I think they ranged about 20-30 quid a piece, which was really annoying, and that's what I had to do to get the automatic system working. So basically what I've got it set up as, I've set it so it filters the center for it's not very, the automatic system is good, but the only downside to the automatic system is when it does switch over to filter the water, it stops, but the outside chamber still bubbles for about 5 minutes before it switches to the inside. So basically what's happening is you're only getting 5 minutes of the center bubbling up before it switches back over again. So it switches over for 10 minutes, 5 minutes it just sits like this and does nothing, and then it bubbles the center, where realistically this should stop and it should bubble the center straight for 10 minutes. But even so, saying that, it does work really well and it does clean the water really good. I mean, even the water coming in right now, which is quite dirty, is still, well, it's not that bad. And I've got 250, 300 litres of K1 in the outer chamber, and like I say, about 80% micro, and the rest is topped up with K1, because I have actually overflowed this, and every single bit of the K1 went on the floor. So right now, probably can't see it because it's really dark in here, but there's about 25, 40 litres of K1 on the floor. And then I run into one of these variable pumps, which I don't think are very good. I mean, you know, it's a 20,000 litre an hour pump, but I mean, I know the weather's colder, so the water gets a bit thicker, but I'm running 91%, and if I crack this thing up to 100 right there, I'm getting 14,500. I know you've got to allow for your height, but in the peak summer I can only get 16 out of it. So I'm just going to run it down to about 9, because the Nexus doesn't like to run any faster turnover than 13,000. It works best if you keep the filtration under 13,000, so I just keep it about 11, 12, you know, roughly around there. And that's basically all there is to it. Just comes in, goes through there into the bio chamber, which is here, bubbles away on I've got 120, is that 120? Yeah, 120 litre an hour pump, which is on continuous, which is great in the winter time because it actually, you know, it's warm, so it makes it warmer in here. And then I've got a 50 or a 60, yeah, 50 that I use for oxygenating the pond, because you've got this one and the 8000 throwing it back in anyway. So and that's on a timer as well, so in the evening time about 5 o'clock switches off till about 9 o'clock, so that I haven't got, yeah, I mean the pond's still running, and you still, you know, keep putting oxygen back in the water, but the air stone which I've got in there is switched off for a few hours just to keep the water calm and I can see what's going on. And then basically I've just wrapped the whole thing with bubble wrap. Got a 4-inch pipe come down there on a valve. The valve I got for nothing because the seals had gone in it, so I replaced the seals, which were about 20 quid, and Bob's your uncle, and off you go again. And that's basically it. That's all there is to it, really. I mean, there's not much more to them. I mean, I'll go into the heating side of things in another video, because I've been out here long enough, and I'll put this in as well, which I don't really need, which you don't really need, to be honest. It's a bit of a gimmickal thing. I mean, the filtration system works really, really well, but compared to a drum, by the time the water gets to here, you can see some of the water, some of the crap still manages to get back into the pond, but it's such a small amount you can't really see it, and it all gets flushed out eventually anyway. Every time this thing does a water change, it changes 200 litres of water, so with my drip system works really well, because you never get the water level high anyway, because I'm 200 litres every 3 days. I was doing a water change every day, but then I realised, you know, not really much point. I'm not worried about the water coming in and out, but it once every 3 days is perfectly fine for me. And like I say, this thing here, this Nexus 300 cost me 280 quid. The upgrade kit was quite a bit, and then that auto, I picked it up used from Luton for 150 quid. I got ripped off. I mean, I had to replace a few things in it, like I said, so it probably cost me about another 80 to get it running. But Evolution and Aquila were really good to us, because we'd bought so many of those relays off them. They ended up giving me a air valve switch to put in there for nothing, which was nice of them. And I've got a 110 UV, which I picked up for about 60 quid with 2 brand new tube lights in it. More than enough, really. I mean, it's on now, but to be fair, you don't need to have it on over winter, just using electricity. But yeah, that's basically it. And whatever crap I've had laying around, I've used to insulate it. I'll put this old foam mattress around the side, because the heat unit, which I'll talk about in another video, kicks out unbelievable cold air. I mean, because it's cold right now, I mean, my water temperature has dropped down to 16.1. I like it to be above 16. I've got it set on 16.5, so you know, when it gets colder it does drop, but that will go back up. But once this fan kicks in, sure, it's so cold. But like I said, I'll cover that in another video. And I am going to buy the flap to go there. I don't need it because I'm pump fed and not gravity fed, but I do want to put it on there because it just plugs into this. What it does do is shuts that, so none of your shit will go back down there, and I'll just keep it more circulated in there. So I am going to invest in one of them valves when I can afford it. Christmas has absolutely reamed me out. When you don't have much money anyway, yeah, some things have to wait. But then all good things for those who wait. All right, thanks for watching anyway. Any questions or anything, just give us a shout. I mean, happy to help best I can. I'm no expert, but everything that I'm doing has worked for me. So like I say, but before this actually I had a massive 4-bay filter system, K1 at the end, start pomegranate at the other end with black bits of plastic, and then I had a massive vortex. If you're going to have a multi-bay system, you've got to have a vortex at the front, or otherwise it's just but there again, with the bay system, the cleaning that was required, oh my god, every couple of weeks you'd be cleaning them brushes and it was a mess. So yeah, like I say, with this I never come in here, I just leave it running and it just does everything. And I mean, if you hunt around and you're patient, you can pick them up for next to nothing. I mean, you always get people on me. If you go on eBay, you won't get one cheap on eBay because you go for stupid money. But on Facebook, you'll pick them up at a good price. Someone closing their pond down. I'm always on the lookout for a good bargain. Right, I'll leave you with that.